Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can we take your order? Once again, for the review of Good Burger 2, a sequel a long time in the making. All right, let's get started. All right, welcome back, everybody, for the review of Good Burger 2, streaming on Paramount Plus, starring Kenan and Kel, as you all probably know from the 90s, from the show of the same name and all that. Two of Nickelodeon's biggest stars back then.
I got all that theme song stuck in my head.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, but listen, no, so like this was I think not like highly anticipated movie, but like an anticipated movie just for the fact alone that I think this was like Kenan and Kel's first like full production together in God knows how long, because they've come together every now and then for like interviews and maybe like a bit here or there and on SNL with Kenan.
Well, they still are like, best friends.
I don't know about that.
No, they are. They went on.
I hope they are.
I think
they're friends.
I don't know if they went on Seth Meyers or was it Kimmel? No, not Kimmel. Maybe Fallon. Whatever.
I think it was
Fallon. I think they were on that. They were on multiple shows.
Yeah, it was on one of those. And they still hang out together every single day. They're literally.
Well,
like
I'm happy to hear that that's the case because this movie, and we'll go over everything, every reason why this movie wasn't as great as it could have been. But as great as it is to hear that they're good friends in real life, I feel like that wasn't displayed on screen because I'm sorry to say that, like, I'm just going to start with the weakest point of this movie right now is Kenan himself. I didn't think he was. Not only was he like, he sounded like he was just checked out and just phoning it in. He didn't even sound or look happy to be there. In my opinion,
he looked tired.
He sounded tired, but like the thing is, like he was doing such a bad job that he was completely, like, his character was completely unrecognizable from the first movie. Like, part of the dynamic that made Kenan and Kel so fun to watch on screen is like, Kel being an idiot and Kenan just reacting, like going over the top about like, like, why, like that typical, like, why would you do that?
Why,
like
God, why?
And we got like none of that in this. Like, literally, it was just
we're talking about a 40-year-old Kenan, though.
No, come on. If Kel could still do it, because Kel was still Ed. Kenan was not Dexter.
You're not an
an 80-year-old man.
Same argument, but Johnny's right. Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, but like he's in his 40s. He's not old. He can still be like, what are you doing? Like, everybody can do that.
No. Okay, let me rephrase. It's not Kenan as in Kenan the person not doing it because Kel can do it and everything like that. It's his character. His character evolved. He became
boring.
For lack of a better term,
wooden. Not fun to watch.
Well, yeah, because all these years he was not next to Kel the whole or Ed. He wasn't next to Ed the whole time. He didn't have to deal with Ed. All he was doing was scamming people out of their money.
But
so he became a different person.
No, because every single scene, it's literally just him walking in a room, straight-faced, crazy zany shit is happening around him, and it's just him going, oh, okay, then I guess this is what's happening right now. Yeah, sure. Oh, I don't know. Sure. And then just walks away. So, every single scene.
Okay.
He did not give any flavor to his character whatsoever. It was actually pissing me off. That's all I will say.
I think what we essentially had here was we had Kel playing Ed, and he actually was Ed. But Kenan over here wasn't so much playing Dex. He was playing himself from the actual Kenan and Kel show.
No, not even that. No,
I would agree with that.
Really?
No, absolutely not. He wasn't. Then watch the show again, because that was part of the dynamic that made them so fun to watch on TV. He on Kenan and Kel too, the show, like, he would also have those like blow up moments where he would just be like, "What are you doing? I can't believe!" Like, it was like he had that slapstick nature to his comedy that just wasn't here at all. Like, it was just wooden, straight face, robotic, nothing. And it, like I said, it pissed me off because I was like getting ready to just jump into the screen and be like, if you don't have to be here, like, you're acting like you're being forced to do this movie against your will, and you're just pouting about it the entire time. Like, if you don't want to be here, don't do the movie. So it was just like, it
Yeah.
was that like offensive to me almost, like just watching him be like that the entire time. But I don't know. Pancakes, what about you? What did you think? Give your 2 cents here.
Definitely very wild, definitely very zany, all over the place. They stuck to that. It was the type of movie that you weren't going to take seriously. They tried to capture the magic of the movie that came out in the 90s and bring it back 23 something years later. Kel was amazing as Ed. I'm glad they kept that in place. You know, he grew up to be this. He was still the same 15-year-old he was in the first movie, with a family just like him.
Yeah, we'll talk
just
about
like
that in
him.
a second. We'll talk
yeah.
about that in a hot
I'm,
second.
I'm just happy. I'm happy my prediction came through when we did our trailer review. They did it orange soda reference when Ed was showing his kid how to
Yes.
use the soda machine, and they said it line for line. I'm glad that made it in. And Johnny, technically, you were right about, even though we didn't see him on screen, Sinbad did one of the voices, so he was involved.
did
But
he?
unfortunately,
Yeah.
you would have to double check the credits for that.
Oh, I need to see that again then. Yeah.
However,
I
I
didn't see
wish
that.
this character was brought back. You know, it had its funny moments, like the drive-through window kid stuck in the freezer for 22 years. Fizz.
That was a little
mention that.
extreme.
Like,
That was a
how
little
can you
extreme.
not use Fizz more? They used him for like literally a minute through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I'm like, wait, hang on. They're calling everyone back to like handle the plot. Where's Fizz? What happened?
Yeah, and he didn't really do anything too substantial. Like he was just kind of like there when you need him type of character. But he didn't do. He was. Well, I guess you could say you could argue he was kind of like that in the first movie too as a character. But like, you know, this time around you don't have all those original characters back. So anybody you do have back, I think you should have elevated them a little bit. And they definitely didn't do that with Josh Server there with Fizz. But yeah, let's talk about Kel for a second, since we just devoted all that time to just shitting on Kenan. Highlight of the movie, of course.
Yes,
he was again, you know, back to his old Ed self. He had the voice down, he had the mannerisms down. You know, like the moment you see him pop up on screen and say, you know, "Welcome to Good Burger," like it was just like you were back in 1996 or 1997 all over again. And you know, you're at that point, you're watching it for him. Like you're really just watching it to see his antics, like just be preserved all these years and coming out again on screen. He looked great, but man, his character has gotten around. Right? Like he now owns the franchise. He owns like or manages the you know, the restaurant now.
He's the owner.
He's the owner. He owns it now. He has kids, and my God,
no. His vast progeny based off of condiments. Let's not forget that.
So I was going to say,
has a beautiful wife. He's a multi-millionaire, and he's a super genius.
Yeah, I mean that scene.
It's in all that episode. That's it, straight up.
Yeah. Okay. Not Mayo. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, but like that scene when we're first in his household, and like, what's her name? Why is her name escaping me? The model. Roxanne, she comes out.
Carmen
Electra, who comes back, one of the many cameos in this movie. Carmen Electra comes back out, and for a hot second, I was like, "You are not about to tell me that she's the one that gave him
I would have fully believed it too.
I would have thrown something at
if
the
they would have
TV.
said
I was like, "Hell no, man!"
They
I just can't believe.
Time.
Yeah, you know what's funny? The woman from I don't know her name, but like she's from SNL, like the person who played his wife. I actually like thought of that when they first showed the scene with his kid before we came to his house. I was just like, I bet his wife is like somebody like maybe Kenan got from like SNL. And I was like, oh shit, that's exactly who I was expecting to see. So I forget her name, but like yeah, that was when I saw her come on screen, I was like, oh okay, Carmen Electra's the nanny. Thank the Lord. That's all that is. But yeah, he was fine. But he's really the only reason to watch this movie, because the story.
It was the rehash of the first one. That's what it wasn't
even that. I was thinking of the word rehash, but it wasn't even that. It was just like a lame, like, oh, the sibling of the guy from the villain from the first movie is now wanting to get revenge. And they got, what's her name? Jillian Bell. She's like one of the most boring actresses you could possibly ask to put in. Like, even I think it was almost part of the joke, is like when she was revealed to be like the villain, even Kenan and Kel were like, "Who are you?" And it was like echoing, like, "Yeah, really, who are you?" Like, I don't know who you're supposed to be, like a big actress or what? Like, what kind of reveal is this? But and then after that, the movie I think just fell apart. Like, just when she was trying to, what was she trying to do again? Somebody remind me. I forget what she tried to do.
She bought Good Burgers so she can open up her own Good Burgers throughout the whole world, so that way she can basically create Mondo Burger, but with Good Burger's name.
Yeah.
And she
Okay.
made
All of them, all the employees had to get fired so they could have robots doing everything.
Oh yeah, the AI.
They had
thing, yeah.
the AI robot versions of Ed, and props to Kel Mitchell to be able to act out the robots and film and stand there to act that out.
Fine. Again, like honestly, now that you reminded me of that scene, like it's just he was really carrying this movie. Like Kel Mitchell,
He was, yeah.
You were the MVP of this movie, Kel. Like, thank God your heart was still in this because nobody else's was. But it like from that scene onward, like once like the villain was doing her thing, like it just the movie stopped trying. Basically, like the first movie, right? It was like a whole freaking adventure. Like there was this whole heist and trying to figure out like what Mondo Burger was trying to do to Good Burger and poison the food. And then they get caught and then they get sent to like a crazy asylum and all this shit. And then that became like an escape from there. And then there was a car chase after that. And like, I don't even remember what happened in this movie to resolve like the villain arc. Like, nothing happened. I don't know. Like somebody hacked the system to hack the robots or something like that.
Yeah.
It was
his niece hacked it.
Yeah.
His niece didn't even hack it.
Oh, no. Sorry. Kel was the one that reprogrammed everything, and instead of him shutting everything down, he just made him act like him.
Yeah.
Literally, because he's funny. Like, he literally said, he's like, oh no, that original plan was only gonna like set them back a little bit. I made sure I destroyed them. I'm like,
yeah,
Kel, you're a monster.
and I have to, and one thing to acknowledge is when Dex was in the bathroom and Ed comes in with a plate of pancakes, and Dex thinks is wiping his face with soap, but it's really maple syrup. So of course, as my namesake, I have to acknowledge the pancake scene.
Pancakes, I feel like that would be like at your house.
Your dream? Was he living out your dream in that scene, pancakes?
I think he was.
I don't know.
I think pancakes got jealous.
I want to eat my pancakes in the bathroom. That definitely threw me off.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
I digress.
That about you. Speaking of that, so okay, going into this movie, I literally thought, even looking at the trailer, I'm like, why are we having this movie? This is not necessary to have a 20-year-long sequel. Actually, watching the movie, I'm going to be completely honest, had a couple of laughs throughout the whole movie. Most of them were from Kel, though, so I'm like, well, all right, it's better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be absolute freaking trash, but, it was not trash. It was suitable.
You know what my issue is? I didn't think it was that bad, but at the same time, if somebody was to ask me to watch it, I'll tell them to watch the first one again. Because
it's just such a much better watch.
You know who probably pushed for this movie to happen? The director of the first movie, Brian Roberts, who's now the president of Paramount Pictures and Nickelodeon. So he probably And then
Viacom saying like we need like a good kid movie or another 90s revival movie on Paramount Plus, just like we did with like Zoe 102 and iCarly and all these other movies that we did.
So he essentially worked on several Nickelodeon shows back in the day, so he knows the catalog, and he's like, oh, let me do a sequel to Good Burger, get Kenan and Kel back together, tap into nostalgia. Thank God it was made for streaming and not the theaters, because this would have bombed so fast.
My money back. I would have asked for my money back if this was a theatrical release. Are you kidding me?
Johnny, you would have asked for your money back in tears as well. Because I know you would have been hyped to see this movie. And that'd be like the fact that I have to ask for my money back. Please.
Yeah, but you know
Someone
what? It's
do
like
it for me.
the thing is, like, I knew this movie was going to be pretty garbage going into. I was like, obviously, this is another like '90s Nickelodeon cash in on Paramount Plus, just like all the others that just failed and didn't do what they were supposed to do. But I was like, I'm just excited to see Kenan and Kel back together again, and just see like, like they're older now, but like they
That was
still
the
got it.
hook. That was the hook. to get us
Yeah,
to
like
watch.
I'm not watching it
yeah.
for like the continuation of Good Burger's story or anything like that. Like I wanted to see Kenan and Kel back. I want to see like Lori Beth back as Connie Mondu, like all those like
She was back.
she was. I'm saying like I was happy to see her as well, and like like Fizz and all them. But like most of it or almost all of it was just so stale and like just so boringly done and thrown together. That was just like, you know what? You shouldn't have even bothered. It was just like it was almost like a reminder, like this is what adult life is like now. Like all of your childhood memories are like just shit.
You know what bothers me though, and it's not just this movie. It's like it's a few movies this year that I've seen, and what's with everybody putting Pete Davidson in all their movies?
Oh god,
I don't know. I don't know why. Why? First thing, I'm like,
scene.
Why is he in this movie?
The
I
first
saw
face
him.
you
What
see.
the fuck is going on here?
Yes,
Oh.
I hated his cameo.
Well, going back to all the cameos, they tapped into all of Keaton's SNL buddies to appear on it, especially with the fake celebrity
course.
cause Maya Rudolph and whoever else they got to appear. That kind of reminded me of when we did what was Coneheads, and when it was like an endless list of SNL cameos. Like that's what that movie was like, heavily depending on different cameos. Former NFL player Rob Gronkowski had a small part in when Kenan was wiping down, trying to listen on Ed's conversations. It was all over the place with the cameos.
I did find funny the Mark Cuban bit where he was there and he was telling Dex, he was like, "Yo, I want my money back," as he drove off in the Escalade. I was like,
Well,
okay, that was pretty funny the way they made
it was
him
like
sound
actually
so
him.
serious. Like
He wasn't cameoing as like a character, like he was cameoing as himself. Like he legit said,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
like I'm on a TV show, I got this much money, all that stuff. I'm like, oh, he's literally like Dexter's literally working with Mark Cuban.
He was doing an extension of his Shark Tank persona.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and good to see George Clinton is still alive. The funk legend.
Yeah, for real.
He made a quick cameo in that like that call montage. He was the guy. And I mean, obviously, he was a musician from the '60s, but like he was in the first movie too, in the insane asylum. Like that was his song playing during that dance scene.
He was one of the guards.
He wasn't one of the guards. He was one of the inmates. He was one of the admitted crazy people. He was the guy with like the dreads and like all that stuff, saying like, "Man, this music sucks." That was actually him, and it's good to see he's still alive. He made a cameo in this movie too. But yeah, I mean, the cameos were fun. Like the return of like old characters was fun, but I don't know if you guys have anything else to add, but there wasn't really much else.
I have one. I have a question. Did you guys really think that Cindy and Mindy were one person like I did? Because I had to look it up in order to see that they were actually real life twins. I thought they were just using like body doubles and CGI and whatever.
Oh no,
for a brief moment, I
thought they were. Like, nah, they're twins. Absolutely.
You are correct on both ends. Because yes, the twins were separate people; they were actual twins. But then at the end, it was revealed that they had like a third sister, I think, right? And that third sister was just like a double of one of them. So I think so like you're technically that they're both right, both of the same.
Yeah, but I had to look it up because I was like, wow, this is really good CGI that they're able to mesh them both together in the scene.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually touching each other. Wow.
My God,
yeah. They use the same technology as
like the one person to look at that and just be like, no, you know what? This is too convincing. Absolutely not. No. This is some cutting edge stuff. But how much money did they put into
where the budget went?
I don't know, man.
This is where the entire budget went.
I did a lot of researching trying to find what the budget for this movie was, and I can't find it anywhere. So either it was some crazy astronomical number that they don't want to admit, or it was done for dirt cheap. Because I believe that the first movie was done for like $9 million. So this movie had to be at least 20 mil, at least bare minimum.
I mean, for the cameos alone, I think that's where the budget went. There's no way they got Mark Cuban and Pete Davidson and all these other guys and all these other cameos for like dirt cheap. There's no way, or at least like that, and have a budget for like actual writing and effects and all this other stuff. So, yeah, big doubt.
And they probably got their location for cheap. I mean, they used an abandoned or closed down Friendlies in Rhode Island as the stand-in for Good Burger. So instead of filming on Hollywood,
I heard about that.
Excuse me, Hollywood studios set.
Yeah. Well, if no one else has anything else to add, I think
Don't watch this movie. No.
Yeah. I mean, final thoughts. I think at this point it's pretty clear this movie was a dud. And if you were a fan of the original, fan of Kenan and Kel, fan of all that and everything Nickelodeon, this movie is going to disappoint you pretty hard, in my opinion. At least it did for me. But yeah, that was our review. Let us know if you agree down in the comments below. Give us a like, subscribe while you're at it. Ring that bell too if you want extra news about when we're posting new stuff. And also we have an Instagram that you can follow as well for other updates at Official Final Credits. And until then, we out. Roll credits.
Roll credits.
Roll credits.
What a shit show that was.
It was. It was so fucking disappointing.